Hi, I'm here with a review of the Zebralight SC30. It's a single CR123 LED light. I was looking for something for a small everyday carry light. I was carrying the Phoenix PD20 and Surefire backup. I guess I'm still carrying both of those, but want something just a little bit smaller. Actually, the big problem I was having was that with the Phoenix, I was occasionally noticing it, finding it on in my pocket, and I was trying to find something that maybe I wouldn't have that problem with. I thought about getting the Phoenix PD10, which is a twisty that I thought would alleviate that problem, but I'd heard a lot of good things about the Zebralight and thought I would go ahead and give it a try. So, some stuff about the construction of it. Starting from the back, it has a flat back. Cap comes off. It's a single LED, as I mentioned. Comes pre-lubricated. I believe these are a little bit squared off. It's a very secure fit when closing it. Aluminum case, they say it is a proprietary premium grade Alcoa aluminum bar stock. Not really sure what that means, but it seems to be basically an anodized aluminum, kind of dark gunmetal finish. Has a polished pocket clip on the side, goes all the way down to the heat sink, which wraps around the side here. Has a side clicky button. It is rubberized and slightly recessed. So putting it in your pocket, if it's touching flat against stuff, in theory it should not come on. Moving to the front, it has a Cree XPE LED. It has a texturized reflector, and it has anti-reflective coating on both sides of the lens. With this light, with the XPE, it seems to have a slightly warmer to neutral cast to the light. It does come in two models, a regular and a W model. The regulars take AA batteries, whereas the W, which is this one, takes the CR123, and it will have a little bit warmer tint to the light. With the pocket clip, you'll carry it bezel down, and it is waterproofed with an IPX8 rating. As I mentioned, it's a very small light. It is 0.85 inches or 22 millimeters diameter and 2.6 inches or 67 millimeters in length. It's only 1.1 ounces without the battery. With the battery, it's really not much heavier. Great light for carrying. You carry it around all day and really forget you have it, both because of the size and because of the weight. Alright, moving on to the user interface. The Zebralight has a little bit different user interface than some of the other lights. Still very easy to understand, but just a little bit different to get used to. The Phoenix, you turn it on, turn it on, and then you can half press through the different levels of brightness, and then you twist the bezel to get to the turbo mode. The Surefire, you press it on for the bright level, and then within 2 seconds you press it again, it will go into the dim level. The Zebralight, a little bit different. It overall has 3 levels of brightness. Within each level, there are 2 separate levels. So, single press will turn it on to the brightest level. Single press again turns it off. If you hold it, it will put it onto the dimmest, and then hold it down, it will cycle through the 3 levels, and it will stop wherever you let go. Single press again turns it off. Now if you turn it on to the dimmest, as I mentioned, within each level there's 2 different levels. So on the dimmest level, it's either 0.4 lumens, or double press it, it will go to 4 lumens. Moving up to the medium level, it's either 21 lumens, double press goes to 38 lumens, and moving up to the brightest level, it's either 105 lumens, or double press goes to 193 lumens. Not a huge difference between each, but it is nicer to have those. It will remember each level, so if you memorize it at 0.4 lumens for the dimmest, 38 for the medium, and 193 for the bright, or vice versa on either of those, it will memorize that until you change it. So that's a nice feature. One of the things I liked about this was that the 0.4 lumens is fairly dim. I was having problems with my Phoenix that the dimmest level is 9 lumens, and for things like walking around the house in the night in the dark, it's actually surprisingly surprisingly bright. 9 lumens, 0.4 lumens. Oops. Oh, there's 0.4 lumens. There's 4 lumens. So it's actually a pretty decent difference. One of the things I use this for is at the hospital, shining it in people's eyes and throats. And 9 lumens was actually pretty bright for shining in people's eyes, I discovered. I was getting a lot of unhappy faces with that. The 0.4 lumens and 4 lumens, while still sufficient for looking at people's eyes, doesn't make as many people angry. So it's been great for that. Also, going around the house at night, the 0.4 lumens and the 4 lumens both are plenty bright for that. My dad uses his Phoenix for reading menus, and sometimes in restaurants. And some of the restaurants we've been in, the 9 lumens is actually too bright for that. It has too focused of a beam. So the dimmer light of the Zebralight, I think, is actually a little bit more ideal for that. And again, it's even smaller and easier to carry. The settings are, the brightnesses are nice. One of the problems I had with my Phoenix was that I use this at the hospital, shining in people's mouths and eyes, and the 0.4 lumens of it, it was actually pretty bright. You shine this in someone's eyes and they don't like it. It's fine for mouths, but eyes, not very fond of it. Also, walking around the house at night, 9 lumens is surprisingly bright. It amazed me. My dad has this flashlight, and he will use it sometimes in restaurants to read menus, and the beam on this, pretty focused. A little bit more throw than flood compared to the Zebralight, which is a little bit more on the flood side of things. The Zebralight on its lowest setting, there's 0.4 lumens and 9 lumens, so a big difference between the two lights. 4 lumens, again you can see that the Zebralight a little bit more diffuse than the more focused Phoenix is. The Surefire, a little bit closer, I think that's 5 or 6 lumens, and again a little bit more focused than the Zebralight is. So the Zebralight's great for lower light situations, getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you're in a hotel, you need to read a menu, you need to shine it in someone's eyes, great for that. If you need to use it in some vague tactical sense, it's not really a tactical flashlight, but the one press on to full brightness is nice. You don't have to fumble with that. Long press will get it to the dimmer setting, but the one press on is nice. A few downsides of it. My biggest complaint with the light is that the ridges on the heatsink are very sharp. The corners are very well demarcated, very sharp, and the tail or the pocket clip is very tight. So every time I put this into my pocket, I can almost hear the fabric rubbing between these, and I fear that over time this is really going to wear on the material in my pocket, either on my jeans or the 511 pants that I often wear to work, and that they may eventually fray. I've heard other people complain about this, and I'm really not sure how that's going to go over time. I have a thought to take the pocket clip off. You can use these screws, undo the screws, take the pocket clip off, and then even file it down under here, either to kind of round the edges out a little bit, or bring them down a little bit so there's a little bit more space in there, because again, that is very snug. It's not going to fall out of your pocket, certainly not a problem there, but I'm just not sure how that's going to go over time. Another thing I've discovered is that it is susceptible to static electricity. I'm inside in the winter on carpet with socks on, and if I charge myself up a little bit and I come up to the light, touch it, it will come on. You turn it off, charge yourself up again, and it will come on. I've been able to reproduce that pretty much every time. So, I did find it in my pocket on for the first time today. I noticed that just after I'd gotten out of my car and had touched something and did have a bit of an electrical discharge. I'm not sure whether it transfers all the way to your pocket. Maybe it depends on exactly what you're carrying or wearing. I did try putting the light in my left hand, charging my socks up, touching something with my right hand, and the light did not go on. So maybe it's only when you get the current directly to the light somehow. But something to consider. I've heard people complain of this going on in their pocket. A nice feature that you can do with this is that tail cap will lock it out. So you turn it on, and just a slight turning of the tail cap, just that much, just a 16th or 32nd of a turn, very small, will disable it, and then it's then safe from coming on. So if you're going to have it in your pocket and you're concerned about that, you can always lock it out by unscrewing the tail cap just a little bit. So there's the basic features of the light. Overall, like I said, it is a great light. It is very small. The side click button I'm getting used to. It's very bright. Overall, it's a great light. You can find it for around $60 through various places on the internet. I forget what the retail price is. But for the money, it is a great light for everyday carry. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Alright, I'm going to do a beam comparison. For comparison purposes, I have the old standard, a double D mag light. Here it is about 10 feet in front of me. Bit of a snow, it's around midnight here. And moving out there, you can barely see it, but there is a playground out about 75 feet, I'd say, in the dark here. You can barely see that beam on it. Moving on to the Zebralight at its highest setting, 190 lumens, I believe. There it is in front. And out there on that playground, you can see it really lights that thing up. So it is a nice bright beam for such a small little light. 105 lumens, I believe it is, or 100, the lower setting. Actually still decently bright. But back onto the bright setting, so it is a very nice light for its size. And off.